Thank you. I hope everybody is well caffeinated and overcome their travel blues. So let's get started. While all of us were busy with our daily lives, there was okay, I have to get used to clicking this. There was a survey conducted for all the online shoppers, and they were asked, how do they like to interact with the brands? And believe me or not, 51% of people voted to interact with bots and AI agents over real people. Now, that's a surprise considering not too far back, they were highly unpopular. Just over the weekend, I was reading the news that Mark Benioff had announced that 4,000 of their 9,000 sales support staff had been laid off. And 50% of the support calls are now being handled by AI agents, and rest 50% is handled by AI augmented or AI companion customer service people. Now, these are not small changes. These are giant leaps. These are transformations that are happening that are upending our businesses completely. Now, if you look at the room, and most of you are under pressure to kind of completely deliver these high percentage growths or drive these transformational operational changes. But before we start and embark upon creating these AI-first businesses and what to do with AI, let's first look at how we got here and what has been driving this change. So it started with brick and mortar. And while you look at this change, I want all of you guys to start thinking about what is the most common factor amongst all these changes, big transformations that have happened. So it started with brick and mortar, everybody knows that, right? It was low expectation, low friction. That happened during that period of time. Things moved slowly, inventory moved slowly. Decisions were seasonal, multi-channel happened. With the advent of web, we had web channel, we had the store channel, everything was two different channels, two different experiences, two different inventories, everything was two different, there was no switching or flowing between the channels. And then cloud-native retail companies were formed. And what happened? Suddenly they started introducing these new experiences. Now you can buy online, pick up in store, you can buy in store, deliver at home. Suddenly you were stitching these experiences, but that was truly not very seamless. In all honesty, it was very, very stitched together. Now, in the modern era, though, the expectations are much, much larger. Now, companies expect one brand, one customer, one order, one inventory, one experience. Why is this important? Because there's no silos. There's no handoffs. Everything operates smoothly without any friction between all the context-sensitive touch points. So time is shrinking at every part of your value chain. That is what is driving the change. So if we go to the root and try to figure out what is driving these changes across all these major transformations, you will get back to some basic human facts. We live in the age of instant gratification. We are driving to a cottage. We want to buy a Bluetooth speaker. We want it delivered on the curbside pickup. We want it then, there. We want to drive off. We bought 3 things. We have instant regret. We want to return 2 things, 2 of those 3 things, and without ever having to go through any friction points. So designing this customer experience, though, is not the objective. It's only the path. The real objective is minimizing the friction of time. As for retailers, as in real life, whoever conquers time is going to be the real winner. So if you map the modern retail value chain from earth to factories to supply chain to customer hands, they all point to the same truth: shrinking time. Time to manufacture, time to ship, time to return, time to decide. The real innovation, though, isn't just the digital transformation, but it is building the AI-native software factories that are designed to conquer time. So my goal today is to ensure that I walk you through these modern business architectures and then break these business architectures into experience architectures, and the experience architectures that are driven by solution architectures and technology stacks that drive these new business models that are not just incremental, but completely a reimagination of the businesses. So what I did is I basically created 2 different journeys powered by 2 different technology and digital architectures, and show you an impact on the same value chain, resulting in dramatically different experience with completely different business and operational impact for organizations. So on the left-hand side, you will see a very composable real-time mock architecture with streams and AI agents. On the right-hand side, you will see mostly what you're used to, a lot of packaged softwares pretending to be real-time, but they are composable on the edges, but in the core, they're monolithic, right? They all consist of transaction tables that are updated in batch jobs, nightly, hourly, daily. Let's go through that experience. So let's imagine there's a hot season and Michael gets a Christmas tree that is really hot, or you have a Nike sneaker and it has got hot on Twitter, or maybe it's Truth Social. Trump decided to tweet it, and the shoe became really, really popular, right? So one will drop on an event hub in a real environment. The other one lands in a database. A real-time event hub immediately is being heard by multiple AI agents, which all act asynchronously. So inventory agent immediately puts up an atomic hold on the nearest one depending on SLA tables, which it dynamically manages. And if it feels that the risk threshold is being crossed, it puts a logical throttle on it, right? On the other hand, the OMS is actually looking for the last update it got in the batch update, but in the meantime, the store had already sold 12 sneakers, resulting in, guess what? Oversell, back order, apology email. You get the drift, right? I can continue with the flow, but you will soon get the picture I'm painting very soon, right? So on the left-hand side, when you go to CRM, WMS, and carrier, in the WMS, what happens is the WMS agent is listening to the same one, and immediately what it does is it basically starts a waveless pick by putting a task in front of an associate who has a handheld in that store. And it starts a 120-second SLA clock. If the person is not acknowledging it, it immediately moves on and allocates it to a different agent, right? In the last mile delivery, the dispatch engine picks up the best carrier depending upon the live capacity, weather, traffic, and even will negotiate multiple rates depending upon who is on your MSA and SLAs. What happens in the parallel world? Let's think about it, right? Stores and DCs won't pick it up till the next batch update picks up, right? Now, if you are bad luck, the order might even get canceled. With respect to the carriers, your rate is fixed. You are not re-optimizing capacity or traffic, right? Continuing with the same theme again. Sorry, I'm trying to bring up my laptop to the same speed as you guys. So, on the composable real-time platform, you have the financial posts happening in real time. Why is this important? Because there's no basically promo leakage that is happening. Tax is final, it's not provisional. On the right-hand side, your financial posting most probably happens, what, monthly? If you're lucky, maybe daily. If Trump gets from the wrong side of the bed, you're screwed. He's basically taxed 3 of your suppliers, and your bad jobs haven't caught up to that. So what am I saying? Basically, with one model, you get no oversell, no blinds promos, no stale ETAs. Every domain reacts to the same event stream within seconds to minutes. Net effect time, on the other side, accumulates as friction. Oversells, cancellation, wrong ETAs, margin leakage. So as you look at these experiences side by side, you will realize in a composable real-time platform, a single click becomes a company-wide reflex. While in the batch world, the same click results in a company-wide delay. Why is this important? This is not just about feel-good stories or great experiences. This is about real-time business. So let me give you the business impact of one architecture versus another architecture. So I'll give you some KPIs just so that you can feel the impact. Promise accuracy in the real time is from 95 to 98%, while in batch is 70 to 80%. your promo leakage on hot SKUs is near zero versus 3 to 8% of your entire revenue. I'll let that sink in. One architecture making 3 to 8% on hot of your revenue leakage. So I can give you more statistics about this for each part of the value chain, but I think you are understanding what we are trying to do here. So now that you already know that composable and cloud architectures are game changers and real-time data accessibility is non-negotiable, to enable these business models, we have to start thinking our software factories right from the scratch. And these three building blocks are going to be building the future of retail. Now, everybody sitting here thinks, I have the first two covered. I have a big data lake. How many of you have big data lake? I think all of you will say, I have a big data lake, right? All of you have composable architecture, right? Now, you will be right. IDC did conduct a survey, and it found that 64% of you said that you have composable front end, but with not so composable core. All you were composable at the edge. Only less than 2% of you are composable across the stack. That's a no-no for this architecture, right? Now, this means that you are dependent on vendor. You do not have orchestration engines. You do not have real-time engines. You just are incapable of walking into this world. Now, as you make this shift from this traditional stack to this more intelligent stack, where you have been building data lakes forever, right? You have to understand some of the basic concept. Real life data is not something you capture in database. It's like a stream. It's like a river. Data is like a river stream that flows. And events are flowing in real time. Agents subscribe to these events, and they need to process that locally. You do not need one big center running the entire company. So they subscribe to the event and process locally and publish these new events. Think of this less as a warehouse, and think of it more like a nervous system where reflexes happen on the edges. So the future version of the enterprise architecture for retail is something like a human nervous system, which is consisting of networked agents which are completely decentralized. Each agent might be trained and tuned in a completely different domain, like inventory optimization, like customer personalization, like logistics. Why does this matter? Can somebody tell me why does this decentralization matters? Simple, because it gives you scalability. You can have multiple agents working parallelly, not waiting for one to finish the job, number one, right? You can orchestrate these multiple specialized agents. Second, resiliency. No one agent can bring your business down. Third, you can plug and play. All of you are diverse orchestration of heterogeneous platforms. You can plug and play these as long as you build these orchestration engines. Very, very important, right? Shift from products. Your product companies, you should demand more from them. No more you should ask just for OMS platform. Ask them, why don't you give me open APIs and streaming endpoints? Why don't you give me agentic plugins and extensions? Do you even ask these checkpoints when you provision new platforms so that it gives you that power when you're building these enterprise workflows? Composability so that workflows are shaped in runtime, not hard-coded. These are very important. Now, customer experience is going to be transformed. CX layer is going to change completely from being command centers to becoming observability and override centers. Humans will supervise, fine-tune, correct AI. They will not be starting all the workflows. So imagine a merchandiser that does not need to run a daily report every day, right? They need to see the exceptions and explanations. Why did an agent reallocate my inventory? That is more important than explanation that humans will be, doing. So where should this AI native software factory focus on? They should be focusing on Building custom meta agents, like the orchestrator agent that coordinates over OMS, WMS, CRM for instant refunds, like the promotion agent that coordinates across OMS, CRM, ERP to suppress promos and SKUs. We should be building intelligent integration services between the meta agents, and you will inherit a lot of agents because of the packaged solutions that you'll buy that will have their own inherent architectures that will be exposed through APIs and data streams. You will be integrating them. You will be building in plugins, right? You will be building governing and observability towers, which is highly important across these networks. Imagine the flight tower which manages all the flights in middle air, right? You will be building that, and you will be constantly scaling these models throughout. So how does AI native organization architecture look like? This is a 20-slide deck that I have kind of compressed in 6 pillars. If you want to know more about each one of them, we have a playbook on each one of them. We have templates on each one of them. We can give you separate ones. I can never go through this slide in 1 minute, but I'll try my best. Start with reimagining your software development lifecycle. At each stage, it should be completely AI native. That's a big presentation in itself. Think about building an AI strategy. Start with use cases. All of you have Gartner access. Most probably, if you don't, approach us. We'll be happy to walk you through a hype cycle, through the quadrants, all the prioritization of use cases across the business value chain of retail, which ones are relevant to you. You can do it in a quick manner, and then build an AI-enabled operating model. And then in execution, everybody, different strokes for different folks. Some people like to just buy. Some people like to buy and customize. Some people like to buy customized. It depends upon what kind of flexibility and velocity you want for your business, right? What's your risk appetite? And then build AI COE framework. Constantly introduce new tools, train your people, constantly train your models, and continue to get better. But this is not going to be simple. It's going to be easy by imagining yourself as a 90-day software factory. Imagine you're a startup. You are constantly driving new POCs. This POC is reimagined as something you will be provisioning for a customer service with a customer service platform where you find where is my order or returns and promo. So this is just a simple slide showcases how you create a 90-day plan for a simple AI agent, and then if it is successful, you fine-tune it, integrate it, scale it, and bring it into your enterprise ecosystem. This is my last slide. Every job function will have an AI component. Be ready for it. Age for scaling the company based on people is done, finished. Forget about it. But that doesn't mean we are going to become useless. Smart people are always required. And execution is always at premium. Execution will always be at premium. With that, thank you so much for inviting me, and here is my team. My team is going to be here around here. We welcome you to stop by, and strike a conversation. Thank you again. Cheers. Take care.